It's Darkside Phil's Game of the Year Awards for 2012. The top 10 best games of the year. Honorable mention, Assassin's Creed 3. Now, I know that a lot of people are personally choosing this game to be in their top 10 games of the year, but I have to be honest and I have to give my opinion on the subject. I really feel that Assassin's Creed 3 succeeded at many things, but also kind of failed at others. And when it comes to the balance of things, I really just couldn't give it enough credit to give it a spot in my top 10 favorite games of the year. But Assassin's Creed 3, for what it is a great game. You're talking an overwhelming amount of content, just like all the previous Assassin's Creed games. Between the main story, the amazing amount of side content with the collectibles and items like that you have to find, between the side missions where you're helping out people when you're collecting homesteaders who then will add to your land, the naval missions, which I never even really got a chance to dabble in due to time constraints during my playthrough. I mean, there's an overwhelming amount of content in this game, and I really did like the continuation of the story, and I'm interested to see where it's going, even though there was kind of a lackluster cliffhanger ending to the game, just like the last several Assassin's Creeds. So, where do I feel the game went wrong, and why didn't it make my top 10? Well, number one, overwhelming amount of game bugs on launch. This, by far, out of all the games I played this year, had more visually apparent game bugs than anything else I've played. And for a game that's supposed to be a AAA title that was years in development, that's not acceptable. Number two, the introduction of the game is insanely long. We're talking anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, and really is a letdown. It drags, it's slow moving. You're like, geez, when do I get to finally play as the protagonist of this game? What am I doing? I'm confused. I feel like I'm wasting my time. And for a lot of people, they really felt the same, and that really kind of held the game back. Finally, there's the character of Connor, the main character of the game. And I'll be honest, he's really kind of annoying. He's a brat. He gets trained to be an assassin, but he's constantly bickering with the person who trained him in the first place, who's trying to help him. He can't make up his mind. He's wishy-washy. He does things for really weird and emotional reasons, and he's nearly not in line with the previous protagonists that we've had in the Assassin's Creed series. I really think they went a little bit wrong when they were developing his character, and by the end of the game I found myself saying, I really don't like this main character. I like his abilities, I like the gameplay and the combat, but he's really not that much of a likable person. And if you don't like the person who you're playing as in a game, it probably isn't going to want you to, really make you want to play the game anymore. And unfortunately, that was kind of what I was feeling during Assassin's Creed 3. I couldn't wait to get back to Desmond, because that was a character who I actually did like. So, the one final thing that I do want to say, the online play at this point has gotten pretty stagnant. I mean, we've had 3 games now with nearly identical online play. There's almost no innovation in it at this point, and it's like they're kind of just dialing it in. They really didn't try to go outside the box and add anything amazingly fun or new to the online play. And so really for me, when I'm weighing and balancing the games this year, I thought Assassin's Creed 3 is one of the best, actually has a lot of content for your hard-earned money that you're going to pay to buy the game, but I just don't think that it stood up to my other picks for the top 10 games of the year. So it gets an honorable mention, well-deserved. Now back to the countdown with number 7, Mass Effect 3. So here's a game amid all the controversy that I have decided is still worthy to be in my top 10 games of the year. Let's talk a little bit about Mass Effect 3. It was the ending of a trilogy of games where we were promised we were going to have a definitive resolution. It wouldn't be a wishy-washy cliffhanger ending, and everything that you've done up to now was going to have a solid impact on the ending of the game, and it was going to be basically blow your mind. Well, I'll be honest. Playing the game of Mass Effect 3, initially I said, okay, they really haven't changed much. What they did is gave you the option to either play the game as more combat heavy or more narrative driven, depending on how you want to play it. And that's fine. For me, being middle of the road, I thought that was really a cool option, and it made it play like previous Mass Effect games. Of course, some people might say, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but the game was just too similar to the previous games. I actually liked Mass Effect 2 quite a lot, and therefore I decided that Mass Effect 3, I was enjoying the hell out of it. And let's talk about it. different worlds, different locales, some twists and turns in the plot, the return of some of your favorite characters from the previous games, some of them actually joining your party again and becoming part of your squad, resolution of certain plot arcs and such that we've been waiting for, and I really think some of the big boss fights and the crazy stuff that was going on was fun as hell. And then the game ended, and I really feel this is where a lot of people kind of lost their way and said, oh, well, because this ending isn't good enough for me, that means the whole game sucks. And I'm sorry, I can't let myself be affected that much by one piece of the game. The game's long, the gameplay's fun, the narrative's great, you get to see the return of a lot of your favorite characters, resolution of a lot of plot arcs. The final ending of the game, yes, was a bit disappointing, but I was kind of okay with it. It's almost like interpret your own ending. There is no one definitive ending to Mass Effect 3. Depending on what you choose, that's the ending that you get, but that doesn't mean that that's the only possible ending. I really think that they wanted to leave it open-ended. Let me put it this way. They could have ended Mass Effect 3 just like they ended The Sopranos. The screen could have went to black, and you would have been sitting there with your thumb up your ass saying, what the fuck just happened? How did the game end like that? At least Mass Effect 3 gave you definitive choices on how to end your game and gave you kind of a hint at the ending. Now, another cool thing is that they actually decided to go and do the free extended cut DLC because so many people were upset about the original ending of the game. It still really didn't give you a definitive ending, but at least it gave you some kind of epilogue of what happened to your favorite characters and what happened due to the choices that you made throughout the course of the 3 games. Mass Effect 3, in my opinion, was a great game. It ended the series well with the gameplay. I really think that if it wasn't for the little fumble they had at the end of the game, that more people would respect the game. I just think that it's a bunch of people who are so entitled and were looking for this amazing blow your pants off ending that really are hating on the game. I personally liked it quite a lot. One of my favorite games of the year, which is why it's here in my top 10 picks. Up next on the countdown, one of the most fun, cooperative, and addictive games of the year finally makes a spot. Check it out.